kids, if you are watching this, I've probably sent you here to get some help with run-ons, specifically run-ons using a comma. The fancy term for that is a comma splice. The first thing that I want for you to do is go ahead and pause the video, and I want for you to go get this sheet if you haven't already gotten it. Then I would like for you to go ahead and glue it into your notebook so that we can use it as a resource as we continue this process. Okay, so hit pause if you need to. If you're already ready to go, here we go. So a comma splice is a fancy term for when you use a comma instead of a period or a semicolon or comma conjunction, which are one of the fanboys for and, nor, but, or, yet. So here's what we're going to do. I've written a piece here where I intentionally put in some different comma splices, and we're going to take a look at how you can go into your work and find these comma splices so that you can start to identify these run-on sentences independently. Okay, so the first thing I will tell you is this. If you are doing comma splices, like I've said and said, you're using a comma instead of a period. The great thing about this is that you know you have a symbol that you're using, so a comma. So what you're going to do when you re-look at your piece is you are going to go through and somehow mark every comma in your entire piece. Okay, so as I read this text, I am going to mark all of the commas that are in the text as a whole. All right, so here we go. The first one, here we go. All right. Last week, so there's a comma, so I'm going to circle it. I went to the store to get ingredients to make the most amazing chili. Comma. I had found the recipe online and couldn't wait to give it a try. Let me tell you, it was amazing. There were tons of beans and a super smoky flavor. I think I am going to bring it to our family's chili contest we have every year when the weather gets cold. I know everyone will love it. Let me know if you'd like the recipe. I'd be happy to share it. Then you can make it too, and I can come over to eat at your house sometime. Okay, so the first thing I did is I didn't stop to think about the commas, I just marked the commas, okay? And since you know that if you are doing a comma splice, you have a run-on on both sides, here's the strategy that you can use. Go back to each of those commas and start by saying, okay, do I have a complete sentence on both sides? So if we go to this first one where it says last week, that is not a sentence. Therefore, this comma specifically is not a comma splice. Okay, so let's go to the next comma. After chili, I cover that up. Last week, I went to the store to get ingredients to make the most amazing chili. Okay, that's a sentence. Let's look at the one after. I had found the recipe online and couldn't wait to give it a try. Okay, so there's a full sentence on both sides of this comma. Therefore, it is a comma splice, and I have a couple of options. One, I can use a period and create two sentences. Two, I can use the semicolon, which remember joins two independent clauses, two complete sentences that actually they go together. Or I can do a comma fanboys. If you're using commas a lot, you may want to, at this stage in the game, kind of consider either the period or semicolon, depending. I think I may use a semicolon here because I'm talking about getting the ingredients for a chili from a recipe I found online. And so I'm going to go ahead and change this one to a semicolon. All right, so I'm going to start there. Let's go to the next comma. Let me tell you, it was amazing. Okay, that's a sentence. Let's look at the next part. There were tons of beans and a super smoky flavor. Also a sentence. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I don't want to use semicolons every time because this whole paragraph really is about chili, and so it's going to work that way. But I think I'm going to use a period here since last time I used a semicolon. I don't go in every other fashion. In fact, you probably won't use semicolons as often as you will use periods. Not that they're wrong, just that you probably won't. Okay, let's go to the next comma I circled here. I think I'm going to bring it to our family's chili contest we have every year when the weather gets cold. Comma, I know everyone will love it. Again, there is a sentence on both sides. So I'm going to stick with periods and semicolons. Again, you could do and here. That would totally work. Actually, I think I am going to do and. So I'm going to do comma and because I can't just have commas hanging out by themselves like this. Okay, here's the next one. Let me know if you'd like the recipe. Okay, that's a sentence. I'd be happy to share it. Sentence. Okay, so I have a couple of options. I think I could do, I don't want to do a comma fanboy here. I feel like I need a semicolon here. Okay, let's look at this comma here. The word then, that's not a sentence, so that doesn't work. 2 is offset because I have these 2 commas right here together, and therefore I know that's not going to be a comma splice. That's just a way that I'm offsetting 2. And those are all of the commas I had. So if you are doing comma splices in your writing, you now have this right here. What I want for you to do next is open up to a piece that you have written probably in your writing journal. And I want for you to try this strategy. Okay, go into your journal, circle or mark or whatever you're going to do to all of the commas on one page or in half a page, like, this much, just to make sure that you can practice the strategy. Then I want for you to go in with a different color than you marked. See how I used the black and then I went in with the pink, and a different color than what you wrote in initially. So if you use pencil, don't use pencil, get something different. And I want for you to see if you are able to change those commas that are comma splices into a period, a semicolon, or a comma conjunction or fanboy. Again, you put your finger over every comma. If there's a full sentence on both sides, then you know that it is a comma splice. If you have commas everywhere, you need to go back to all of them, and I would try starting by making most of them periods, and then you can go in and then make changes for semicolons and fanboys. It might make your life a little bit easier. All right, kids, good luck. Let me know how it goes. Talk to you soon.